Hi, everyone. First, thanks for inviting me. It's been a great conference. First, a couple things. I don't have a slideshow. But I was saying that so you could forgive me, so I don't want to put you all to sleep. I'm talking about Derrida today, and that he can be kind of difficult to read, to say the least. But I want to make him really accessible and clear. So I'm going to try to create an encounter between Derrida and particularly his notion of what's called arch writing and Jaynes's theory of the emergence of consciousness, particularly as he understands the metaphor, which seems central. Also, about my presentation, I'm not really going into any specificity about historical moments when this happened. Look at my presentation as kind of a supplement to others. Others are going to supply you with dates and times and neural anatomy and things like that. Mine's going to be more of a phenomenological or logical infrastructure of this relationship. So hopefully this will become clear as I go on. But I'm going to start with a quote from Jaynes that I really like, and I'm just going to put it out there and leave it lingering kind of as a muse. Right hemisphere muse that you can think about in terms of this whole presentation. And he says, observation of difference may be the origin of the analog space of consciousness. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Derrida's understanding of writing emerges from his deconstructive encounter with the classical opposition of speech and writing. In this opposition, speech is granted ontological ultimacy and proximity to truth, meaning, or logos, where writing is demoted to an external supplement, a corrupted representation of speech. The privileging of speech over writing is function of both of these binaries, being traditionally subordinated to a sense of lost purity, truth, source, or origin, whether it be God, consciousness, or any source that is simple and self-constituted. For Derrida, this scheme characterizes a deeper underlying current found throughout the history of philosophy that he calls the metaphysics of presence. So in the following, I'm going to use two brief philosophical examples of the metaphysics of presence that have played throughout time or throughout the ages. Plato, because his undercurrents of thought are still active, and Edmund Husserl's phenomenology, particularly because his ideas still resonate with more contemporary notions of consciousness. So beginning with Plato, in the Meno and Phaedrus, Plato famously prioritizes anamnesis, and that is the immortal soul's unmediated recollection of knowledge over hypomnesis, an artificial supplemental and technical memory, such as inscription and writing that is external. So on the one side, we have anamnesis. It represents the immortal soul, true knowledge, and authentic memory. And on the other side, hypomnesis. It represents the corruption of knowledge through forgetfulness, death, absence, finitude in the body. Plato calls writing an evil because it inverts the natural hierarchy of soul and body, contaminating a pure interiority with external contingency. So a modern variant of this kind of Platonism is Edmund Husserl's phenomenology that tries to found an objectivity on an absolute certain intuitionism within the solitude of a pure consciousness.